Jimmy. Lights, camera, action. Some people thought I quit and I ain't giving satisfaction. From a different era, writing rhymes up on napkins. What you had to say was more important, man, than traffic. Yeah, I'm talking back. What's good, family, and welcome to another episode of Jimmy Bond's Podcast right here on WPEB Radio, 88.1 FM, 95.1 FM, West Philadelphia. What's good, family? What's good? What's good? What's good? Welcome back. Another episode, another time. You know we got the team in the building. First, let me shout out to my man, Ty T.Y. What's good, Ty? How you feeling?
Ooh, T.Y. the rhyme in the building, y'all. How you doing, man?
Love it. That's a new one. Ooh. And you know I can't forget my other co-host, lovely Miss Lady T. What's good, T? How you doing, mama?
How you doing, fellas? Thank you for the red carpet and the flowers. I appreciate it.
You know you deserve all the bouquets of them. All the bouquets of them. Move right along, fam. Remember, you can call us with your comments or your questions at 215-472-0881. Again, that's 215-472-0881. You can also email us at jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. Again, that's jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. It's JINNYBONDS podcast@gmail.com. Also, family, remember you can follow us on Instagram at Jimmy Bonds Podcast, on Twitter at Podcast Bonds, which is now X. I still call it Twitter. And make sure you join Jimmy Bond Podcast Facebook group. Let's continue to open the dialogue. Also, family, make sure you follow us, or rather you listen to us each and every morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Illadelphia Radio. Again, that's Illadelphia Radio. Yes, family. Yes, family. Tonight we got a special guest. And he's calling me right now. So listen, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to be right back and get right to it. We'll be right back, family. And welcome back, Jimmy Bond's Podcast, right here on WPEB Radio, 88.1 FM, 95.1 FM, West Philadelphia. Welcome back, family. Welcome back. Remember, you can call us with your comments or your questions at 215-472-0881. Again, that's 215-472-0881. You can also email us at jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. Again, it's jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. It's JINNYBONDS podcast@gmail.com. Again, family, we are here. We have a special guest just arrived in the studio.
Dun, dun, dun.
Glad that he's here with us. Glad we're going to have this discussion. But family, our guest tonight is a distinguished gentleman. He's actually the president and CEO of Daddy University. And if you don't know about Daddy University, by the end of this episode, I guarantee you will know about Daddy University. So, you know, with all our guests, we got to give him an introduction, right, fam?
Go ahead and do the introduction, man.
Everybody do the introduction?
Make
you
it
want to give
happen.
me an introduction? You ready?
Go.
They're going to give you an introduction.
Make it happen.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
Okay. Y'all ready?
Get yourself ready.
I'm ready.
Get yourself ready.
All right, let's pop it off.
Okay. There you go.
Mr. Joe Austin is president and CEO of Daddy University, which is an organization whose mission is to provide fathers with the expert knowledge and resources they need to be fathers they want to be for their children. Daddy University Incorporated is the largest running male parenting company in the United States and has been in existence since 2004. They have enrolled over 10,000 dads, completed over 30 programs, and over 1,000 training sessions. Mr. Austin is an undeniable force in propelling parenting education to the forefront of family and community agendas, and he has been recognized as the authority on fatherhood information and training. He is a U.S. Army veteran, a graduate of Cheney University, and a West Philly native. Mr. Austin is an educator, a coordinator, a facilitator, a life skills instructor, a trailblazer, a public speaker, a veteran, a president and a CEO, a husband and a father. I like to describe him as wise, empathetic, proactive, innovative, revolutionary, involved, appreciative, reliable, experienced, realistic, and aware. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to the CEO and president of Daddy University, Mr. Joe T. Austin. What's up, Austin? Welcome to the show, fam. Welcome to the show.
Enemy. Fight the power on it.
You know what I mean? We got to, man. This is what you've done. This is who you are. This is things that you've accomplished. You know, sometimes we take our careers for granted. We don't think about a lot of times what we do. We just do.
Yeah.
And when you go back and realize all the things, not just what you've accomplished, but the impact you've made in the community, it's vital. It's vital, particularly with fathers. So, Sister T, I know you got a question. Go right ahead, sis.
Okay, so I want to make sure I heard some things. So did I hear correctly? Did I hear you say Cheney University?
Cheney, yeah.
Mama, how are you? Nice to meet you.
Love it. Cheney University in the building.
Now I see well.
And then I want to say thank you for your services, because you say he was in the service.
Yes, thank you for your service. He's a U.S. military vet, U.S. Army vet, shall I say.
There you go. Very nice.
Yes.
Shout out to the Army.
Shout out to the Army.
Shout
out to all of our serving members right now. Shout out to all of them.
We appreciate y'all. Okay, so I'll do it this way, and then I'll kind of go from there. So can you tell me, Mr. Austin, what you would describe the best way or a description of Daddy University for people who have no idea what it is?
Daddy University is a male parenting education company. We teach fathers how to be better fathers. The difference with us is that we already see power. We already see greatness in them. We always see their benefit, and we just want to approve and help them approve. So we don't see the failure as others or the negativity. We see, this is your situation. Do you want help, and do you want instruction? And that's how we connect, because we see people on the same, empathetic and compassionate about your situation.
Okay.
I have fathers that are locked up that are more in tune to what their kids do on a daily basis than some that are right down the street. So it's not your situation, it's your level of love.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you want to say, like, maybe is it almost like, and I'll use my co-host Jimmy over here, but suppose Jimmy is stressed and he needs somebody to talk to. Does Daddy University offer support for a father who may be frustrated with being like a single parent?
You talking about that phone call we had the other day? So you talking about? Is that what you're saying?
You know what I mean?
Can put my business out.
Personal business.
I'm just saying that there are a lot of single dads out there.
Jimmy.
Not Jimmy. who are frustrated, and they need somebody to talk to, and they need a place, where they can kind of get it off their chest and a little guidance. Does Daddy University offer that kind of support?
Yes. I'm not a vain or arrogant person, so sometimes my company pushes me. So first, we run the Fathers Club. The Fathers Club is every other week. It's an educational support group where you can come, just let it out.
Okay.
And we understand. We also have run the National Fatherhood Conference for like 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
We are currently planning the 12th annual Daddy and Daughter Dance. We run a program called Doulos for Dads, where we have trained and hired at least 8 Black male doulas that work with moms in maternal and paternal care. Mm-hmm. And in 2020, we started our own fraternity, which is called Delta Alpha Delta Fraternity Dad, where it's a social service where fathers get together. Because I realized that even in a barbershop, we weren't talking about fatherhood.
Okay.
We weren't having these open discussions of the who, what, when, and where, what was going on, the good, the positive. Dads, they have a superpower, which they just make it happen. They just do it, which is a good thing and a bad thing, because they don't advertise a lot. They eat last sometimes to make sure other people have more. Mm-hmm. And it's just their job, and they never wear a T-shirt that says "I ate last." It's just what they do, which is a good and bad thing, because it's time for us to rewrite the narrative that that was my sandwich.
But I mean, I guess what you're saying is dads need love too.
Support, loyalty, appreciation, encouragement. I think it is, and yeah, I said it's the hardest job in the world, parenting.
It is.
And it is the absolute most unselfish job in the world. You literally sometimes put your dreams and goals on hold just to make sure somebody has a sandwich.
Right. Just to make sure your kids are smiling at the end of the day.
We did the first daddy and daughter dance. I had 40 people show up, and I thought that was amazing.
Yeah.
The last time we had the dance was pre-COVID. We stopped selling tickets at 650.
Wow.
I'm talking about
that's great.
Black fathers, West Philly, North Philly, pulling up in limos, 8-year-old girls with pearls, and I know they was real, with butterfly wings, proud and boisterous. And if they'd have got a helicopter, they would dance in the middle of the floor with this 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old. I've seen 55-year-old, and I'm going to say girls, come in with their 80-year-old daddy. Like, at least this is still happening. So
wow.
We had I had a class, a workshop. I keep bringing it up because everybody told me it would fail, on mostly Black men in West Philly at the West Philly Y, how to do your daughter's hair. And I set the tables and chairs up for like 15, and 45 showed up. And some of the guys that showed up, they was a little rough. I ain't gonna be honest with you. I was like, where my wallet at? Like, you had tattooed faces, and you had motorcycles pulling up. You got these 6'4" football players trying to do a corn roll. Like,
love it.
And they don't care. They don't care. Like, this is my daughter. She need to look good. That's my masculinity is to protect her and provide for her. So people look at it as a dangerous thing, but you flip it around, it's a beautiful thing. Yeah. You think mom did this? No.
Thank you, Dad, for always making my hair look good. Thank you, Dad. I appreciate you.
I think God made barrettes for us.
Man, I'm gonna talk to you about something that I saw a video of, and on your Daddy University YouTube page.
Oh, okay.
And what hit me was your personal experience, something that you shared personally. Now, normally I wait later on in the show, but this hit so hard, I was like, we gotta talk about this. So,
I ain't bring no tissues.
Nah. But you talked about co-parenting.
Yes.
And why that needs to be healthy, and why that needs to be a communicative thing where we make sure we communicate no matter how much we don't like each other. The story you shared, I would rather you share the story about this experience, but what you said was profound. You said your son got in the car and he wasn't feeling good.
Yes.
And so, like any father, you would give him medicine, right? And not knowing that you and your ex-wife were not communicating at the time.
Not talking at all.
And what happened was you gave him medicine not knowing that she had given him medicine.
Yes.
So he ended up getting a double dosage and ended up at CHOP.
Yes.
Can you talk to us about that?
We were not talking. I realized after we separated and divorced, in relationships, I can not talk to her. I'm an adult. I cannot call. I cannot pick up the phone. I had control over my space. What eventually started happening is I started to realize I could not get away from her because half of her DNA was in my son's. Every single thing I disliked or got on my nerves that she did was happening. We had 3 boys, so it was happening in triple. So you can disconnect from an adult, but you can't disconnect from those feelings, those emotions, those things they do. So I had to literally learn how to talk with them for us to have the same language, and that helped me eventually co-parent more. But what happened was I was not talking to her. I would text and say, I'm outside. She would put my son in the car, my son sniffing. You heard most of the story, so I give him NyQuil. She had already given him medication later on that night, and he was out of it, almost eyes rolling, and we had to rush him in. So we end up both at the hospital looking at each other like this is our fault. Yeah, this is our fault. And she could not say, well, you shouldn't have. Because she didn't text and say, I already gave him that. So we were at that level, and we realized at that point, we're going to kill somebody.
Yeah. And I mean, you talk about it like I'm not the best friends with my ex-wife right now. Shout out to my ex-wife. But, she called, I got to answer.
Yeah.
She called, I got to answer. Whether they're with her or not, she calls, I got to answer because most likely it's about them. And as much as I don't want to talk, as much as I'd rather not have conversations, I still got to have them. That's just realistic. That's mature. That's, being a father. That's being a father. No matter what it is, like it or not, she always gonna be in my life, regardless of the fact. She always gonna be there. Like you said, half of that DNA is your son. So if I don't coexist with her in some way, shape, or form, it's gonna be disastrous on not just our relationship in terms of co-parenting, but also our children, how it affects them and have a negative outcome, not a positive outcome, a negative outcome.
Mm-hmm.
So I always find it vital that you have to communicate, whether you like to or not.
Absolutely. I remember picking up the phone one day, holding the phone to my ear, answering the phone, talking. And then I put the phone down. And before I put it down, my son said, "Tell mom I said hello." So I said to him, how'd you even know who's on the phone? He's like, "I can tell by the way you talk." And that is mom.
Wow.
And we know.
Yeah.
You know
the tone.
you know
that tone.
Yeah. And at that, I was like, wow.
Like you're talking to a business partner that you don't like. And you look at the phone like,
it checks in.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Like for real?
Cell phone company. And that I really realized, wow, not only am I not doing this well and she's not doing this well, but they know, even though we were keeping up the act, they knew and they can feel my emotions. Yeah. And they knew who I talked to just by my face shape. They know. And because we Black, let's keep it real. People have been hiding stuff from us a long time. We got uncles. They wasn't really uncles. The goldfish died. They'd be like, "Oh, we swam away." We just make up. Sure, that's yeah. We got cousins. I don't know where they came from.
I'm telling you.
So we make up stuff like, me and the mom are good, and then we would meet each other at Chuck E. Cheese. We smile and everything, and we thought we were doing a good job, but we weren't. We doing a terrible job of hiding truths from people who, again, have our DNA and our chromosomes, and they're connected. Yeah, how you gonna hide somebody from your twin?
And then them kids ain't stupid now. Yeah. Them kids smart. They'll tell you outright. My daughter was trying to pull something out to me today. I was like, no, I'm not gonna say that. Yeah. No, I'm not gonna say that. Let me not say that. Watch what I say, because it could come back to bite you. So I had to watch my tone and watch what I was saying in my tone. So I was like, okay, all right. No, just don't worry about that. Just be quiet. All right, I got you.
At a very young age, even 5 or 6, they have enough common sense to know if my dad's not sugar honey iced tea, because she told me my dad's not sugar honey iced tea. If my mom's a female animal, because she told me my mom's a female animal, that makes me have sugar. Yeah. Or either I have.
Right, exactly.
Even at a really young age, that means I must not be already. So that's why I'm starting out in kindergarten as half.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a vital aspect, man. I mean, the
trying to find
you remember as a child, you remember the interactions of
radio.
I was about to. You say what? But as a child, you remember the interactions of your parents. You remember them not getting along. You remember them arguing. You remember the bad times more than even the good times, particularly if they're separated. So I always find that you got to watch what you say. Your kids are like sponges. You influence them on a daily basis, more than even the teachers would do. You influence them on a daily basis. So you have to watch what you say. You have to set that tone. But, when we had a conversation the other day, we were talking about superheroes. And how fathers a lot of times, and you've had fathers within your programs pretty much give you the, I got it, I'm good. I'm cool, bro. I'm good. I don't need no help. Why am I here? I don't need no, come on, man. I'm here to, y'all talking about this. I got this covered. I wake up every morning. I know exactly what I'm doing. And it has a thing of ego with it, right? Yeah. So can you talk about how ego sometimes blocks our success in terms of being better fathers?
So this concept of that, when you even start with I and children, it is idiotic and asinine, like specifically if you are biopic or black and brown. We do not come from at all eyes when it comes to raising children. This has been put on us, this idea of that I as a mother and I as a father have to raise this child. It's stupid. It is a we. Like we literally say I'm doing this on my own and send our kids to the school district for 8 and 9 hours. So it's not an I, and it's never going to be an I, and no one has ever been raised by themselves. You can call yourself single anything you want, but I got knowledge from the guy with the shoe store. I got knowledge from teachers. I got my coaches. I got in-depth knowledge from friends and family members I met. Like, we are literally raising these, especially in these urban communities, in villages. So try your best to take away the I and realize that they're getting knowledge from a lot of other people. They're getting knowledge from her, you, and then family and so forth. But this concept of, I have so many stories. I've been running Father's Club for over 6 years. I've heard almost every story from every man. And within 5 minutes, I can tell sometimes what's really, really wrong in your relationship. And one of the things is this superhero, Superman complex that has been thrown on us and thrown on our Black women too. That the word of empowerment is supposed to be independent empowerment so that you can help out the family, not that you have to do everything on your own. So I let them know that Superman has an ice castle that he flies to and says, forget about you, forget about Gotham, forget about New York, like, I'm out. That he even has to take time out. He's also bipolar. Every now and then he get rid of this cape. He just put on a suit and some glasses and chill out at a coffee shop, sipping at the bar. Like, he's also, and you as a father have to actually stop being a father. You have to stop being a husband sometimes, and sometimes you just got to be a man.
Yeah.
At my house, that's okay to do.
It is. I am telling you need to do that.
Right? Question, you could do that?
Because I press and iron my cape every morning.
Listen, it is okay to say enough is enough.
Okay.
And here's the other thing. Sometimes our Black women don't let us relax because they're scared of us being called or assume that we are the worst word in the Black language. And the worst word in the Black language is he's lazy. So even when you're sitting around sometimes, she's like, well, can you just get this light? And can you just put this table together? And can you just do that? Because God forbid she or anyone thinks her man's lazy. But if you've done it for 6 days in a week, most of us on this planet believe that even the creator of the planet said, I'm going to chill on one day. Like, after these clouds, if he could
take a day off, how come they can't?
I could go fishing.
Yeah.
Or sometimes just invite your friends over and sit in a room and talk about anything else besides business. So
Yeah.
There are times you got Black and brown men, Black and brown women hiding in bathrooms, locking the door in bathrooms to get 15 minutes.
Yeah.
No.
Sure.
Let me tell you something. Call your neighbor, call Aunt Susie, call Uncle Jim, call me. I already got kids. Say, yo, hold on to my kids. I'm going to the cigar lounge. Next week, I tell you, I'm going to go watch the game this is a village. And guess what? My kids and your kids doing the same thing on the same game, eating the same popcorn. It ain't even that big of a deal. Like, they be like, all right, does he have soda? Once they find out, and you tell us what you need. There are a lot of people willing to do this swap, and that's what villages are for. But please get rid of this Superman image and realize how much he rested, how much he chilled, and how much he needed time to himself to recharge. Because you can wear yourself out. You end up arguing with your kids. You ask your kids for the salt and pepper. They ask you the pepper. They pass you the pepper and salt, and you got attitude. So see, that's why you don't listen.
No, listen.
Time I turned around.
I did that to my kids yesterday.
Ketchup and mustard. I asked for mustard and ketchup.
I let my kids have yesterday. Like, yo, chill out. Go sit down and do something with yourself. And they just bawled out crying like, Daddy, why are you yelling at us? I can't believe, because I had to let it be. Like, yo, y'all driving me nuts. But he's right. He's right. I'm on 7 days a week. I'm taking a day off. Ty?
Yes.
I'm taking a day off.
I agree.
So,
And kids can cook.
Not mine. I ain't
Cooking
letting
is
them cook
mad.
mine.
Cooking is mad.
It is.
They be pop. It can cook. Listen, we was chopping onions. Old school.
Oh, he going back now. Ty, like, I'm right there with you.
You gonna sit there and stir. That's what you gonna do with them grades.
Snap peas.
Snap peas.
all right, now I do have a question.
Absolutely.
I heard you mention the village.
Yes.
Now, with the fathers that you have helped in the past, how often did you hear them mention the word village? Does a village even exist anymore from the dads that you've come across?
The village does exist. The village is comprised of sisters, brothers, uncles, aunts, cousins.
Okay.
And sometimes for some of us, the village is very close. Some of us in our community, even our dads do this thing they call hover, which means even if we break up, I'll move 6 blocks away. Like our village your cousin doesn't live super far sometimes in this or environment. So when you say village, it also is extended to coworkers and people that you hang with. It's silly that someone can have a 4-year-old and an 8-year-old. I'm comfortable with them at work, and they have a 4-year-old and 8-year-old, and think, well, I'm afraid my 4-year-old and my 8-year-old might. Those are villages, but these people need to swap. Guess what? All you doing is going to Chuck E. Cheese. Can I just bring them to you? And $50 because Chuck E. Cheese expensive.
Yeah.
Pizza's terrible.
Sorry. Pizza's
Sorry, Chuck E.
horrible.
Cheese.
Except when you hungry.
No.
When you hungry, that joint is crazy.
I meant Cheese of Chuck. That's a different place. But yeah, they don't actually say the word village.
Okay.
And another thing, I'm glad you brought that up. I had talked to my dads about being nurturers.
Okay.
And they said they weren't nurturers. And so then I started asking questions like, do you do the hair? And someone was like, yes. Do you read them books? I was like, yes. And when you read them books, where are they sitting at? Or are they sitting on my lap or on my chest? Or do you do this and do you do that? Do you hold them? Do you kiss foreheads? And I said, that's a nurturer. But they felt that was a mom's job.
Oh, no.
But in reality, it's a parent's job. But they didn't consider themselves that because that word doesn't seem to be masculine enough.
I get that.
Mm-hmm.
I get that. Again, Dad, thank you for all of the hugs and the kisses and the encouragement. Dad, I appreciate you. Thumbs up, Dad.
Telling you. I'm going to tell you a quick story. A friend of mine, she on the daycare with my son go, right? So every morning I drop him off. We do our prayer. He knows the prayer, right? By the time we get to the door, I say, squad deep. He says, squad deep. She opens the door, let him in. I give him a hug and I kiss him on the cheek. Regular, right?
Mm-hmm.
I do that for not because kissing your son is looked at in any kind of homosexual way, but I do it so my son can understand that his father loves him.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Right? She look at me and she like, get all that kissing stuff out of here. You should have done that before you got here. And I say to myself, nah, I'm gonna do it right here because this is his ritual every day. This is what he needs to remember. The last thing he needs to remember Daddy did was give me a kiss on the cheek so I could start my day in school. And at 4, I'd rather him have that memory because I didn't have that memory. My father didn't do that to me. He didn't drop me off at school. So I look at it as I'm replacing or I'm making up for what my dad didn't do and giving my son more nurturing and more love in that process. Now, some people might view that as, you make him soft, but I view it as my son is my son. I do the same thing with my daughter. So I don't differentiate how I love on both of them. You know what I mean? But because he's my son, somebody be like, oh, you got to make him tough. You know what I mean? And I don't believe in that. I'd rather him be who he is and grow up naturally and grow up without the stigmas and having to be somebody he doesn't have to be,
As long as he's a good person.
That's all that matters to me.
But this is the natural progress of parenting in generations. My grandfather was a rotary phone.
No doubt.
He's a rotary phone. My father was a flip phone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm a smartphone. It's supposed to progress. I'm not supposed to be the exact same way. Like my father didn't know how to use a washing machine, dryer, any of that. He was kept from that because that was woman's work. But my mom was like, oh, heck no. Yo, there's a lot of boys in here. What we going to do? We going to learn the laundry. We're going to learn how to sew and knit.
Yes.
So
Yep.
I'm not aware of soft because in my current situation, my wife is able to leave on a business trip and all she has to do is pack her clothes. Like food, I know how to cook. I know how to clean. I know my kids are tight. They know what they need to do. I'll hand out chores in a second. So this whole switch on, I don't understand soft. I think soft is anybody that doesn't pull a plow by themselves. But I do need to be soft. I can't go through life. I'll end up single if I just saying it's my way. I'm stronger than you. I'm bigger than you because I'm not always that bigger and stronger.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is it's okay to be nurturing.
No, I'm not saying it's okay. I'm saying you have to be.
Right.
You have to be nurturing. You have to sit down and then you have to do something our parents didn't do well. Yeah, I'm talking about your parents. Our parents did not do this one thing well that hopefully this next generation is. It is listening to the kids.
Yes.
They did not do it. I said it. Yeah, I'm talking about you, mama, and them. As soon as we came in and said, hey, such and such, they'd be like, sit down.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because our kids are like, good amount, they're right. They have an extra imagination. But if you look into that, you can also let them know, this is why we're not going to do so-and-so. Like I run my house with a diplomatic, I call it a democratic diplomat.
Yeah.
Democratic dictatorship.
Got you.
I have a democratic dictatorship and I am the dictator. So we go to the store and I say, you can pick out any of these 7 sneakers. Democratically, your choice. Dictatorship means just these 7 because my pocket said these 7 right here, not the 8, not the 9.
Right.
And we can go back and forth on the 7. Even if the 7 is purple with wings, that's one of your picks. It's in my price range, fine. So you can have this type of control still, this womanly control, this masculine control without losing it. But also at the same time, you can hear somebody. Well, why do you want purple sneaks? Or sometimes I have to say, if you get the purple, none of your stuff match.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can only wear that. And I'm not buying a second pair for a long time. So you sure? And they're like, oh, maybe I should get the white ones because they match. So our parents didn't do listening well. And guess what? You can sit at the dinner table. My youngest is a daughter, so I don't even know how she breathes. Sometimes she just going about her day. If I say, how was your day? That's a lot. Man, I'll be like, just stop. But you catch things and then they ask questions and they want to know what you did in this. And I think softer than slavery is good. Softer than that is good. Softer than being treated one way is good. If listening is soft, then I dare somebody to come tell me I'm soft. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Don't tell me I'm soft.
Right.
Brother Ty,
Ty, you got a question?
I know you
Yeah,
got
yeah.
something, bro.
I want to rewind it back a little bit. What was the event or cause that brought on Daddy University? And when you started it, what were your expectations?
Oh man, that's a good question. I did not plan on starting it. I have a business major from Cheney University. This was not my plan. I had my first son, Amir. I left out while I was in the hospital, and I'm gonna have to be a little arrogant. I was married at the time, and I had graduated college, and I was living in my own house in Chester with my car. I come from West Philly, so those are big deals.
Yeah, for sure.
I was better than the black man.
For sure.
And that's just old me. So when I get to the hospital, I'm at the gynecologist visits, I'm at the Lamaze classes, I'm in it. Like I'm signing this, what you need. The whole 9 months, I'm in it. I learned this brand new word called cesarean an hour before the cesarean.
Ooh.
And I felt like all of you guys failed me.
Ooh.
I felt you all failed me. You all thought I was stupid. You treated me like an Uber driver. And I want to say, like, everybody has this great story when they started a company. I started mine. I was pissed.
Oh, wow.
I was pissed. Like, I remember going to a gynecologist OBGYN visit, and they said, I signed in Mr. Austin. She signed in Mrs. Austin. Like, got a ring on it. Beyonce, that joint. So I thought I was going to be treated better.
Yeah.
Because you married.
Because, I did. I'm not
You
like
did the right thing.
Yeah, 7 out of 8 kids doing nothing. No, I'm not 8.
You want to know what
mine's just
situation?
right.
Right.
I waited in there, and they called her in, and they said, we'll be right back for you. 20 minutes goes by. They come back and get me. And they're telling me how the visit was. And I said to the OBGYN, why did you not get me with her? And they said, well, we wanted her to have her privacy. So I said, I'm not sure how you know how babies get in there, but
Yeah, like I'm a part of this.
I privatized, like I had.
I put some work in, bro.
I seen it did. I seen it did before you seen it did. A lot before, because I did just 3-point shoot that. Like, so it's little things like that. So by the time I had my son, I walked out of the hospital with 2 infants. He was an infant, and at the mom after the surgery, she was literally an infant with no guidance, with no preparation, and I felt like I was the dumbest person in the house now. On top of that, 4 years later, I had my second son, and my first son gets invited to a class at the hospital, a big brothers, big sisters class. Oh, you're a big brother. It was cute. It was 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm sitting in this class. All these they teaching them how to help mom, how dad. It was cute. But Ty, I found myself taking notes, and at that time, I thought, with a college degree, I know less than my son now. Like, no one ever took me and said, this is how you do. So Daddy University got started on research and saying, this is how you're important to this, and this is how you can help with this. And then we had a little website, and then we started selling these daddy bags. They were diaper bags for men. And I started finding that I was more than a paycheck. I found out statistically, I'm all of that. I started reading more about it, that I even increased reading levels. I have superpowers of my own, and me and mom, we're supposed to be the Avengers, and it totally changed my look on fatherhood, because I was taught, wait till they're 11, throw them a baseball and a football, and pick up. And the other thing is that my wife was a professional, so this whole child rearing thing, it gets dropped on you, and you learn about it, and then you start learning that you like it. Like, I liked it. Like, I'm the one getting dirty. Like, we outside. I'm like, I don't know how these kids got dirty, but I'm
dirty. You see my jean knees?
Right.
See all the dirt on my jean knees? Yeah,
these
that's
kids,
exactly.
Yeah, they wrong. Mud pies everywhere. Like, I'm all up in it. And I started to like it, and I liked that they liked it. And it got started from, I don't know if it was anger or disrespect, but you did not see me for who I actually was. And so now I'm going to show you who I am.
And I'm going to say this real quick. Real quick, I got you, T. That was my experience as well. And I took my ex-wife to Abington Hospital and had to force them to let me back there. And I noticed they didn't do that to the white dads. They did that to the black dads. Like you said, you're wearing a ring. Cause I'm like you. I want to do everything the right way. She ain't gonna be no baby mama. I ain't gonna be no baby daddy. Yeah. We are going to get married, and when we get married, if we have kids, and let that be. But when we had kids, or when she got pregnant, I'm like you. I'm at every doctor's appointment. I'm driving her to every doctor's appointment. I don't really care about what nobody thinks. I'm at every single situation. And when she gave birth, they tried to kick me out of the room. My daughter was injured at birth. This was the doctor's fault. And I went so crazy in that room that they was going to arrest me. Ty know what I'm talking about. That they was going to arrest me. So it made me view it as, it takes 2 to make a baby, but they only focus on 1. They only give all the resources to 1. They didn't teach me how to be a father. They didn't teach me what I was going to have to expect. They didn't tell me, well, she had a cesarean and her blood pressure is going to go high, so she might have a stroke, or she might get sick, or something might happen. They didn't give me any of these pre-notions, nor did they tell me, when your daughter, when she's born, because she was injured, you're going to have to take her up to St. Christopher's, you're going to have to take her to Shriners, you're going to have to you're going to have to do OT, you're going to have to do PT. They never told me none of this. I had to learn all of this, not necessarily just the hard way, but with no guidance whatsoever.
We
Okay.
Yeah.
So the one thing that, the people out there, they're listening and, they were like, well, he did mention Lamar's class. And what I will say is Lamar's class is not necessarily dad oriented.
Yeah.
It's all about the mom, making sure that the mom is comfortable, making sure that the mom can have a successful birth. But that's pretty much what Lamar's class is, so for people out there who are clueless and they were like, well, aren't they supposed to learn all of those things in Lamar's class? Nope. None of those things happen in Lamar's class. Mm-hmm. So the gentleman that you hear speaking from experience, it is very true. And even today, when you go to Lamar's class, with your wife, it's still the same situation. You would have thought by now things would have changed and things are still the same. It's very all about the mom. It's very all about the baby, but they don't prepare, the dads. Yep. And they sit there and say, well, here's this parent guidebook. Read it. You know what I mean? Here's this month issue on parent guide and, just kind of send you on your way. So I apologize for, you know what I mean? Because it is very one-sided. So thank you, Mr. Austin, for, having, letting the dads have a voice and saying to the dads that you too are important when it comes down to all of the things that come with having a baby, you know what I mean? Before and after, dads are important. Dads do matter.
Thank you. So we have to literally start there. Even if we talk about dads and mental health and things like that, one quote that I have is that Daddy University, we don't work with men. We work with fathers, and you need to know the difference. Men drive down the street 95 miles per hour. Fathers be creeping.
Yeah, yeah.
Why?
You better stay away like this.
Different mentality. 2021, I became a certified postpartum doula.
Okay.
See,
a doula actually, because that's the male version.
That is so awesome.
It changed a lot, which is why we started doulas for dads, where we're in the community in maternal and paternal health. Mm-hmm. We came from village. And when I say village, everybody was involved in having a baby in the Black community. These tribes, we call them villages, tribes, everybody delivered, men, women. When we got here, we were under more of an English rule, which is this is a men's work. And they separated between men's work and women's work, where tribal, it's not that big of a separation. There's things you do, but you bring it all back to the same table. So we have to get out of a mentality of this is how they taught us to be separate. But when it comes to children, we got to be a little bit more focused on together. I had this one guy, and when I became certified, I was doing it virtually. So one of the issues is the mom was not sleeping. The mom was not sleeping well in the hospital, and he worked as a mechanic, and he was going to get the other kids and dropping them off. So this the background. You got to do all of this to make sure she's cool, but she still wasn't sleeping. So he was in the hospital room, and I said, do you have an undershirt underneath your overalls? And he said, yeah. So I said, can you zip it down and take your overalls? He was like, yo, man, like, I don't know. What's up? Like, what kind of video call is this? So he's in the hospital room with her. And I said, just trust me. He took his overalls down. I said, now can you take your T-shirt off? And he's like, what? This sweaty old thing? You just go ahead and just trust me. So he took the T-shirt off, dirty, sweaty T-shirt off, zipped his overalls back up. He's like, what do you want me to do now? I said, I want you to grab the pillow, the hospital pillow, and put your T-shirt over it. And he did. And he was like, I don't get it. She slept that night. They don't understand the intimacy between me and her. The intimacy is that's her smell. That's not his smell. That's her smell. That's the smell that she's used to on her pillow or used to be beside her on her pillow. And she slept like a log. And you keep separating moms and children from fathers, and you end up with this separation instead of saying they have some commonalities. They have some intimacies. If something's going wrong, maternal health, I can look at her and say something's wrong. I know something's wrong. She's not right. I don't care what she says. So, and also fathers, we're the best snitches in the world. I'm a snitch. I ask questions like, is cherry vanilla ice cream considered a fruit salad? That's what she ate. That's exactly what she ate. Doctor be like, no, that is not the right. Because my baby's in there.
Right.
My son's in there. My daughter's in there. Yeah, I need you on some get right. So they don't understand the intimacy, and it's time for us to look at this community by saying he needs to help. And with my clients, my dads are in charge of the pregnancy, which means they are in charge of making sure she has fresh water. They're in charge of getting her to and from appointments. I don't care if you got an Uber. They're in charge of making sure you get to all the appointments. They're in charge of nutrition. If she wants McDonald's, she's not getting fries, you get apple slices. They're in charge of trying to balance that. They're in charge of making sure that she's eating right. Yep. That the other kids are taken to aunt's house when they need to, and she gets a break. They're in charge of asking her the first questions: did you sleep? Did you nap? Like, they're in charge of this instead of distant from it, or that's women do that.
Nurse.
No. Yeah, or just I had to. No, you get back to this closeness for us.
No, it's critical. You talking about it. I had to. My ex-wife had gestational diabetes, so we had to go to the nutritionist. When she didn't make any of her meals. I made all her meals. I cooked everything for her. I had to do all that because of her diagnosis. And for me, gestational diabetes. What do I know about that? So I'm like, I had to really learn how many carbs she can have every day, what's allowed, what's not allowed. So this is a whole different, you become a dietitian in a way, like, I gotta keep you on this diet. You know what I mean? So you're right. You are in charge of the pregnancy. You are in charge. She's carrying, but everything on the outside, you're in charge of. And I mean, you're in charge of that too. Right. With her body and how she feels and that kind of thing. She can only tell you how she feels, but everything else on the outside, you gotta, let me take care of this. Let me take care of that. Let me take care of this.
And you can.
Man, I was that dad. Like, that was me. I had to learn, like, as quickly as I could. You never thought that you could, because we all want to be fathers. I want to be a pop. But you have no clue what comes along with that.
You gotta move slow and think fast.
Yes. Move slow and think fast. Really, you have to adapt quickly. You have to, and not just learning, because learning could be like you read a book. Oh, I learned that. It's cool. No, you have to adapt. You have to adjust. You have to, even whatever worked before the first 3 months, whatever worked the first 3 months might not work the second 3 months.
Right.
So you have to make sure that you have some things in place so you can adjust. And when you going to sleep.
But one of the first things you got to do is realize there's a disease specifically amongst Black men in the community. It's a rare disease called agatitis. Agatitis is almost terminal. You have guys holding up cars with one hand, Oh, I got it. I got it. This. Are you okay? No, I got it. I got it. This. These my kids. I got it. This. But those my nephews. Like, and you don't see that power, so you almost have to have a strong conversation with yourself that I got it is good for a man. A man should be able to say, I got it this car. I got it made my meal. Fatherhood, you have to almost get rid of all that and say, you hand it to the school, you hand it to the daycare, you hand it to grandmom, and you really have to say, now that this fruit is here, I don't know what I don't know. And I know how to raise me, but I have no idea how to raise half of her. So I don't got it. This is a brand new language. And these kids change languages every year.
Yep.
Yeah. They change they change their language. So you got to learn German when they 14. You got to switch to Italian.
Yep.
They change their focus and goals. And you have to go to another father and say, am I crazy? You have to go to Ty and say, am I doing this wrong? Ty's able to say, hey, I can tell you what I did with my kids.
Yeah.
That's, I'm not going to tell you what to do.
Well,
but
have
I
you
can
met
tell you.
Ty's kids?
No.
Ty got some good kids. Well, listen, we're going to take a quick break. Make sure we do our radio ID at 9 o'clock. You're listening to WPEB Radio, 88.1 FM, 95.1 FM, West Philadelphia. We'll continue our conversation with Mr. Joe Austin, CEO, Daddy University. Before we go to break, I just want to read this quote. I think it's very important. None of us are raising children or kids or babies. Instead, all of us are raising someone's father, someone's mother, someone's wife, someone's husband. Joe Austin, CEO, Daddy University. Family, remember you call us with your comments or your questions at 215-472-0881. Again, that's 215-472-0881. You can also email us at jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. Again, it's jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. It's JIMMYBONDS podcast@gmail.com. And welcome back, WPEB Radio, 88.1 FM, 95.1 FM, West Philadelphia. Welcome back, Jimmy Bond's podcast. Remember, you can call us with your comments or your questions at 215-472-0881. Again, that's 215-472-0881. You can also email us at jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. Again, it's jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. That's JIMMYBONDS podcast@gmail.com. You know, if T is over in the corner trying to hold back her laughter and tears, it is a great show, family. I'm going to tell you that right now. Okay. But we are kicking it with our man, our brother, Mr. Joe Austin, CEO and president of Daddy University, founder, I should say. You spoke about something, of course, doing my research, I'm looking at some of these YouTube videos that you made. And one thing that you talked about was father's rights. And knowing the father's rights. And one of the titles of the video was Represent Yourself in Custody Court. And why is that so important? Now, I'm going to tell you, my brother right here to my left has schooled me hardcore on custody court. I got my man, shout out to my man, Terrence Henry. Shout out to him. He talks to me all the time about his challenges with custody court. Can you talk a little bit about just necessarily like not your experience, but what you have gained and understand about this process, particularly in Philadelphia, because it's horrific in Philly. It's when I tell you it's trash, it is trash in Philly.
It is bad. Our family court system is just set up. I do not think it's set up to help families at all. I don't think it helps families at all. It doesn't offer the services that is needed. It is horrible. I deter anyone from getting involved in the family court system. Family court system is set up to mean domestic relations, which is child support, and it's separate from custody in Philadelphia. So those are two different things. What happens is you end up becoming a responsible adult in support court. You are responsible. You can work. You are a king. You are amazing male in support court. You are able to get all this done. You're even able to work strong enough to provide these monies for your family. And once you get to custody court, you are a joker. You are a loser. You can't even change a diaper. You're not supportive. So we'll give you less of that time. What has to happen and please understand, I'm not talking about men in custody or support. I'm talking about women as well. My mothers are paying child support and being hauled in at an alarming rate.
Yes, they are.
It is not the way it used to be.
Yeah.
Because it does come down to the business of family. And the business of family for Philadelphia family court is that the more separate I can get you, the more money they can make. And it's basically what it is. So there are so many of my clients and people at Daddy University that literally spend college tuitions that should be, mom and dad should be putting towards tuitions on just getting custody. I am not only the president, I'm a client. So I was in custody and child support for a little over 15 years. I ended up winning I take that back. There is no winning.
Right.
there is no winning. There is just compliance and what's comfortable. I ended up with every single weekend for the entire year and the entire summer with my boys. So that was that compromise that we got to. But there is no win, and it needs to be reformed. It doesn't need to be going away. It needs to be reformed. You need to be able to address them in the exact same court at the exact same time. There does need to be care, but there has to be some care with the weight of support. And there has to be care with quality time, because we've found out, specifically in the Black community, no one's getting rich and no one's able to really, really do a great job of taking care of these kids with the child support they get. Because when you take away people who are spending time, you have to pay someone to spend that time. So the after school places end up getting it. The mentoring programs end up getting the money that I give to her goes to someone to care for her. And I can't care for them because I have to keep working to pay. So the system is designed to fail the Black family. So what we do in my office is I bring in mom, I bring in dad, and we make an agreement right here and there what's going to happen. We have it notarized, and it's a document. It's a custody and a support document. It's whatever he's comfortable or she's comfortable with providing. And a lot of times we don't get into the money of it, because specifically most of the Black mothers I've talked to, the money is not as important as the time, the quality time. And when I need you to be there. When I need you for school clothes, I don't need any ifs, ands, or buts. You know it's coming. When I need you for this, when I need you for lunch, or I need you to take them all to Disney World or something, that's what I need, and I need your help and support. So the money, the 400, 500,000, it's not enough to raise Black boys and girls in the city. If it was enough, we wouldn't be having shootings on the bus. Okay. So it is not working.
Yeah. I had to go through that system as well when I was younger. And I agree with you, because I was somewhat clueless when I got to court. And I was clueless, but I was also arrogant. And that's my child. No, that's all I knew. That was my child. And, Mr. Richardson, how much do you make? You got it right there on the computer, man. Stop playing with me. Let's get this over with. That's how I looked at it, right? So they said it was going to take what it was going to take. I'm said, but wait a minute. She's keeping me from my child. What about my child? Oh, you got to go to custody court. I'm like, wait, why we got two separate courts for one child? That made no sense to me. And so going through that process, I'm researching, I'm finding out that the Philadelphia court system was it's the biggest family court system in America. And it's built on separating families. That's what they do. That's their mission, to separate families. They keep families apart. It's the biggest court system in Philadelphia. That was my research on them about 22 years ago. If it's changed since then, I really don't know, but I know they're built to separate families and keep families apart. Because like you said, there's no structure in place to help out those families. It's just, you're going to pay this, and that's that, you know?
And then when you get to custody is really the meat of it. That's really should be in. We have laws that say that custody should be spilled out this way. But unfortunately, the court judge gets like maybe 4 minutes to give a character reference of you. And if you don't dress right, if you don't act right, if you cough wrong, if you this, family court, and I'm going to end with this, is the only court in America where you can perjure and there is no penalty whatsoever. You are allowed to perjure, which is to lie on the stand, and there is still no action, no fine, no punishment. It is the only court where you can do that. I can say, Jimmy set my house on fire. That's why he can't have the kids. And there's no penalty for that.
Okay. Now, my question is totally opposite, totally different. Changing the subject, so sorry.
Oh, no, you good.
Okay. You said woosah. Now, I was listening to what you were saying earlier, and I'm trying to figure out, do you show the fathers or do you guide the fathers into how to balance everything that's going on? Because, I'm thinking about work, nutrition,
Mhm.
after school programs, time for yourself, take care of yourself as well as take care of the kids. You know what I mean? Just trying to balance bills, balance everything. Is that part of what Daddy University kind of?
I would say yes and no. We're not particularly focused on balancing a dad. What we have done is said we are redefining fatherhood.
Okay.
We are redoing fatherhood, and we're getting away from a father's job is to provide. And when they said provide, they meant financial.
Mhm.
Right.
We are tearing that down to say, Dad, financial is the last thing your kids worry about. They can care less about how much money you make.
Yeah.
I was running late for work. I told my son, yo, y'all got to get ready or I'm going to be late. They were like, what happens if you're late? I can get fired. They'd be like, oh, you spend more time with us?
Right. And that's,
We're
that's the
talking
reason why I
about
say
kids
balance.
who play with the box. We bought the toy.
Please, and right. They don't care about the toy. They care about the box. The box is so exciting.
So what we have done is said, I'm going to bring them all in and educate them on nutrition, on how to cook a meal. I'm going to educate them on some of the budgetary things and how some of these laws are and how the same laws that they use, you can use. I'm going to teach you about maternal health and paternal health, what you bring to the table. We also teach about your power. Fathers have a superpower that a lot of people don't realize. It helps reading levels, math levels, phonics in children, and it can expand certain things. It's something that we have that none of our mothers have. It's called an Adam's apple. And as I talk, the Adam's apple moves around and it reverberates. And because it reverberates, children hear the vowels and the A-E-I-O-U better than they do with the mom. So what I say to my dads is, no, mom no longer reads at bedtime. You read at bedtime. Your kids will be smarter. Like that's how important this is. And when you start raising people's level of education on things, then some of those other issues kind of solve themselves. I do know how to cook a meal. I do know how to do this. I can get this house together on my own and I can be a better partner and I can be more supportive. And we also go through communication with youth. We also go to communication with teens so that you're not parenting like a rotary phone. You can't parent with that flip phone. You have to parent, which means I have to do things that my parents didn't do. For me to connect better with my he was then 15, now 18-year-old son, he was all anime. He was all anime and he was one of those. And I'm like, well, I don't know him. He'll know me. I ended up having to sit down and watch anime. So I had to start coming down to his level, which masculinity, when you're a man, says, no, you come up to where I am. So I just start sitting down asking questions like, why is there a chicken with a man's head on it? Like I'm asking, and then we end up rapping about the deeper side of anime that he saw. And so then I'm saying, well, now you can come with me. And why do you like football so much? And he's asking questions. So now
there's a lot of
that's
communication
something that generationally that wasn't done. But now I can come down to my daughter's level and my son's level, and then they'll come up to mine. And now we got a relationship. So the education used to be, if you're a man and you found out you're becoming a father, get a job. And that's all we did for you. That's it.
That was
and
it.
that was supposed to fix everything. And now the education is learn everything. Oh, and if you get a job, that's good too.
Yeah. I mean, the reason why I asked is because you often find moms, screaming, oh, I'm so stressed, and then you come across, a 2-parent household where, the wife is always frustrated with the husband because they feel that the husband is not balancing, the work and the spending time with the kids. And you know what I mean? And it's either they're working and then when they're off from work, they're resting because their next concern is going back to work, and so for moms, it sometimes gets stressful because if dad is resting on his days off and then when he's working, everything just falls on us.
Be careful as a woman when you're choosing, because some of those same characteristics was why you chose him. He was working all the time and providing for you and doing X, Y, and Z. That's a characteristic you liked in the dating. It's not something that's.
And that's the reason why I say, as part of, Daddy University, showing the fellas how to balance it out. It can't just be strictly, I'm just going to work to provide for the family. Like you have to, I mean, are you saying to them, we get it, you have to work, but also part of working, you have a family, and outside of providing with your family is showing up for your family.
So you have to go back to real quick, 1950, 1938, most women, half of the women did not have children in the hospital. By 1958, 90% of women had children in the hospitals. Between that time, this new invention came out called aspirin. At that time, when you rolled into the hospital, your wife would be taken to the left, and then we would go to the right in this Storks Club. In the Storks Club, men get to hang out in the Storks Club. They could drink in the hospital and smoke in this one room in the hospital. They could chill. And that was all the way till 1980. In 1980 was the first time after some movements and revolution that married men, because a lot of our hospitals in Philly were still Catholic, were allowed into labor and delivery in like 1980. That was like 43 years ago. So a lot of men that you're dealing with right now were raised by men that never saw a diaper, never saw a birth, never saw this, and raised us to that separation.
Right.
So the cure, the secret, women get ready. If you want Black men to do anything for you, you would have to do something that a lot of Black women don't do well in, which is appreciate them for it.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciation is a drug for us. If you have to say, I love thank you for putting that diaper on.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for doing such and such. You have to appreciate them and encourage them, and we love it. We love it. We are drawn to it like flies to the light. If you keep doing it, if I go play out in the yard with the kids and I come back in and you kiss the heck out of me and smack me on the butt, says, I like it when you and the kids have fun like that. I'm out there for 3 hours the next time. I'm out there for 4 hours the next time. I'm out there for We are not used to, Black men are not used to living and growing in a society of appreciation for us.
Okay.
Even from sometimes our counterparts.
Go ahead, see my bad, because I'm gonna come back to that.
So that's the secret. Use it if you want, but that's the secret.
Okay, and there are some ladies out there. They're probably going to get frustrated behind what you just said because they're like
Instagram, Daddy, you and I.
And the reason why I say that
on Facebook.
The reason why I say they probably would get frustrated because they'd be like, well, nobody says thank you, Mom, for making the meal. Thank you, Mom, for changing the diaper. Thank you, Mom. So if nobody's giving the mom the appreciation that she deserves, when Dad does it, how come it's such a big deal? How come I have to say thank you, Dad?
Because you're a little bit more gift oriented. A lot of times,
are we really?
Yes. You guys do love and enjoy gifts a little bit, almost on the same level. We're not gift oriented from you. We're appreciation oriented. It's almost like the love language, but there's a primary. Okay. Sometimes a lot of your primaries are gifts. If this is broke and I fix it, that's kind of a gift. If the crib is not done and I put it together for you, those are gifts. Those are action, or those are acts of service. You guys like that a little bit more than nice diaper. Cause I don't want to hear about the diaper because I ain't got no ring. But so it's
he said
still ain't got no ring. You just appreciate me for everything, huh? But I don't see your appreciation here. So you guys like gifts and acts of service much more than good diaper. We like great diaper. You have mothers right now who dads are putting the diaper on backwards and saying you didn't do a good job. It is
versus
idiotic.
Saying thank you for trying to put the diaper on the baby.
Because listen, I have kids. Pee and poop has never cared which side that Velcro's on.
Yeah.
I promise you, it will still come out. It has never said, oh, no. This ain't not on right. What are we talking about here?
Yeah.
Because the best tool in the world is if he doesn't put it on correctly, this baby will show you on your best carpet that you did not put it together correctly. And now that makes you tighten more and makes you learn it. But we can't be pushing down and unappreciating people who are trying. So the secret sauce is if you can do it, you can do it. If you don't want to do it, then welcome to your life.
I'm gonna tell you a quick story. You talk about appreciation piece. I remember telling my ex-wife, like having an argument with her and being like, yo, I'm doing all this stuff. I'm doing this. I used to take my daughter to school with my son strapped to my chest and get in an Uber and do it twice a day. Come home, feed him, all that kind of stuff, even before she got home. And I would always be like, I'm doing all this stuff. Look, I am literally being a father. Like, I'm in this joint. I'm here. You know what she would tell me? You want a parade?
Oh,
That's what you're supposed to do. That's
what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to do that. And you just said something that was key. If I ever got a verbal appreciation from that, if I ever got, hey, I'm thankful that you did this. I had to learn how to cook being that dad. That's when I learned how to cook.
I want to do a survey right now. I would love to survey 100,000 specifically Black and brown women in Philly and find out who appreciates. And then once we find out that 50,000 appreciate on a daily basis, I want to find out how many of them are married. And I would say right here on the radio, 100% of them are married. Yeah. I think it is listen, I shouldn't even be telling y'all women this. You can get a man just by a black man. You just great dinner, great this, great that, great such and such. Thank you.
We don't need the presents. We don't need the watches and the cologne and all.
We come from a background where Black women do not appreciate and applaud their Black men to other people, and Black men do not appreciate and applaud their Black women to other people because we're so scared they're going to be snatched from a plantation.
Yeah.
I'm so scared if I tell one of my friends they're going to snatch him up. So he I and she I, but now, so at least now social media is saying, no, I'm in love.
Yeah.
And I'm in love with it, nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
And that's much better, but you got to get on the habit of saying,
thank you.
Especially thank you. Because if you sit around other ones, sometimes you be sitting there like, man, my husband doesn't cook at all. And then you meet somebody like Tyrone, who,
major flavor.
Talk about this salmon.
You name it, I'll flame it.
Yeah, name it, I'll flame it. And you don't say, oh, just good dinner? Seriously? Your last man made you tuna fish au gratin. Still in the can. And he don't get props? No, but we're not used to parading Black men around. How great you are, how amazing you are. And we're not used to, and we have to do that more with our Black women, and that's when it's going to come together for longer.
See, I love this, man.
My worst clients are the people who come to me who have a child by someone, and they've had a child by him, and they are still strangers. My worst clients are two people who have a child together, and they're still strangers, which means we've been going together 3 months or maybe weeks, and we don't know each other. So now I'm supposed to give you something of essence, and I don't even know you. And that's when this conflict comes, and the family court says, all right, if y'all don't want to be together. The last time I was in court, a long time ago, I sat there with she was now my ex-wife, and I said, do you realize in 1998, two Negroes are still going up to this big white building and asking the master, because when you go to court, family court, you speak in front of the master judge, and we're still asking Massa what we's gonna do with our kids, and letting Massa decide what we gets to do and who gets to see our kids. And this is 2000 and something. So we have to get out of the mentality. What you need to do is go to grandma, his grandma, go to her grandma, go to your pastor or imam or rabbi and say, all right, let's work this out. Yeah. I don't really know her, but whatever she want to work and I'm ready to work out. I'll do this week. She do that week.
Yeah.
Grandma, you do the weekends. Let's bring this family back together.
Yeah. That's real. That's real. Ty, what you got, boy?
So moving forward with Daddy University, what can we expect?
So we are expanding our Doulas for Dads program. We're still training specifically Black and brown males to be doulas, to work in postpartum. Postpartum comes in around the third trimester and gets your life back together, teaches you how to adjust to life with the baby. We are in Philadelphia now. We are expanding to Delaware. So we'll have 2 in June. Our fraternity is now starting to recruit. And we're going to end up with chapters across America where we're having these guys come together in a fraternity fashion, servicing, because we also need to start publicizing this redefining of dads.
Yeah.
We came out of these fathers from this pimp area where I don't want you to know how many kids I got. Where now it's like I'm proud as heck.
Yeah.
I'm in the room. You got guys, father this, father that. I'm dad, and I'm proud. My hoodie says somebody's fine ass daddy. But
T, what's good? What you got, T?
No. Like he answered all my questions. For me, I think it's important for dads to kind of balance their lifestyles. You know what I mean? Moms get stressed, so do dads, and you should be able to balance a little time for yourself, balance some time for the kids, have some time, to concentrate on work, things of that nature. So, I mean, I guess if moms have to do it, dads do too. So
the mental health part of it is I always like to try to get my dads to realize you already got this. They are half your DNA, half your chromosomes. So most of the jokes you like, most of the movies you like, most of the food you like, they already like. Mm-hmm. So don't get too stressed on this money thing and don't get too stressed on this because they are so simple. They are very, very simple. And then be patient, try to listen, and then really, really have as much fun as this as you can. Yeah. It is fun. I took my kids to feed the ducks in the park, but I already knew. So I threw the bread on them. It's hilarious, all right? Because them ducks, boy, they cross the highway for that bread. It is hilarious. Have fun with this. So enjoy this and then teach as much as you can because money is the last thing on there. I know you providing is good, but providing quality time is keeps violence down, keeps pregnancy down. Just the piece of you raises socially responsible kids. And our parents only have one job. Your one job is to raise a self-resilient child. Yeah. A child that can thrive on their self. They can cook, clean, they can provide for themselves, a self-providing child.
I can dig it. Let me ask you this. What type of advice do you give the fathers who have been absent prior years or prior times, whether it be, I hate to say this, whether it be incarceration or just separation in general? What do you tell these fathers when they want to
show up again? Yeah,
they want to come back into their child's life. Like what kind of advice do you give them?
Oh, that's the easy one. Because the benefit is they're always waiting for you. Mm-hmm. I don't care what they said. I don't care what they say. I don't ever want to see you in my life. They're always waiting for you. So what you now have to use is one of the most powerful tools that you have is called consistency. Mm-hmm. To come back, you have to say, I want to see you on Thursday and then show up. And then you keep showing up. And you may get turned away, but you keep showing up until somebody says, man, get out of my face. And I told you I want to see you, but I'm just going to sit here on the porch for 10 minutes. And you just keep trying. But when you finally get the child to say, I'm willing to listen to you, please tell your entire truth. Half of them already know. So please tell them the entire truth. Tell them how stupid you were, how idiotic you were, how you thought these streets loved you, how you thought such and such, how you did this because you thought it'd be better and how you thought you could make a better life and how wrong you were. And then go from there because they pretty much know a good part of the truth. But please tell them that full story. And
pretty much what he's saying is own your messiness.
Own the mess. Own your mess. Own it.
That's real.
And then try to do your best to accept that person because that person, you got half your DNA from them. You can learn some lessons. If they had an addiction issue, you need to just drink 3 beers and stop. That kind of thing. Let me take something from how they made a mistake. The beauty of being a parent is you get to live your life over how many children you have. You have 2 kids, you get to live your life over and say, don't go. It's like GPS. No, don't. It's too much. I done been there, done that. Yeah. And they may go anyway, but you'd be like, all right, reroute because you done went wrong. But the beauty is you get to live over and say, I'm going to kiss somebody on the forehead because I haven't been kissed on the forehead. And guess what? It's all right.
Yeah, that's real. That's real. Ty, what you got, man?
This daddy's daughter dance
thing is huge, man.
I'm just saying because
you got to check out the website because the pictures on there are phenomenal.
The reason why I keep on asking because I might want to take my dad.
You should. I have 55, 60. Go ahead, Si.
As far as tickets, I mean, how can anyone purchase tickets or?
Anyone can purchase tickets. They are on DDD12.eventbrite.com. DDD, that DD12.eventbrite.com. They're on sale right now. Okay. I would say get them early because this year we're only doing 300. Okay. Sometimes I have grandfathers with a table of 10 and that Big Daddy bring them all.
DDD
All the nieces.
Bring them all.
DDD12.eventbrite.com.
Got you.
That's enough.
Yeah, and they dress up. It's dress up. It's like Shrek in a prom and the Oscars. Girls be coming in wings, and also we still do workshops in the city. Every now and then we rent out theater. We rented out a theater for Little Mermaid. People don't know because that's also a single dad movie. He had 12 daughters.
Dang.
Little Mermaid.
It is.
It is. The people are like, oh,
It is.
yeah. And that last one, Ariel, So we and then invite the whole family out to try to bring back what's important. And Ty, like the paycheck is a paycheck, but at the end of the day, no one remembers that.
No.
You will not be remembered for your paycheck, I promise you. And your job will replace you in a heartbeat. But your kids know how long you worked. They know how long you were at work, but even though your job be like, just pay you for 40 hours.
Yep. Mm-hmm. They know that's where you were. See, you got anything? You got something you wanna finish out with?
Okay. Do you know how to add braids when you do hair?
Do I know? No, I do not. I know how much they cost, but I don't know how to.
So
hold
on. So at the Daddy University, you teach other fathers how to braid hair and how to cornrow hair, but you don't know how to do.
Not me. No, we connect. We collaborate with. Yes, yeah. My daughter has natural hair, and I'm so happy. But I get down on some barrettes. We should, we should do a hair contest.
Yes,
we should do a hair contest.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, I know some brothers
that'd be dope
that are too proud to tell people that they do their daughter's hair.
I think you had the other ones that put it all over Instagram.
One of those, but every morning people's like, "Oh, I like your hair, Shanice." They be like, deep inside, appreciation. You get all giggly, like, yeah. I had a friend do it. They was in that joint because you have to get down to the basis of it. A young black girl.
That's quality time too.
It's quality time. It is touch. Touch is good. It is nurturing. Not only that, a young black girl sent to school with her hair not done. You might as well stay around because she's gonna be in the principal's office in about 10 minutes. Because what's gonna happen? Somebody gonna say the wrong thing. So you might as well just park in the parking lot. She'll be right back out. So it's these little things that are important to her. And if you can make things important to her, and then the same thing goes for sons, talking about styles, talking about what other people are doing, why you want to do it. And then there were some haircuts that I had. Some of my fathers were like, I don't want to give him that haircut. And I'm like, well, be honest with you. We're talking 2 weeks. We're absolutely talking 2 weeks. If some of these kids are weak, like you blown out of that stronger in a week. So instead of the old routine or the old phone, it got to be a smartphone.
So can you plug some of your stuff for us? Daddy University website, social media, all that good stuff.
So on our Daddy University website, there's this document called Ages and Stages. It's there to help our dads. It is a hidden document from us, but it really, really breaks down what kids do at what stage and how you can help promote them to the next stage. They're going to jump around. So you have to start designing yourself to take them to a park. We have advertisement and content on there about strollers, which stroller is best, and contact us for information. We put a lot of our events that are going to be coming up this year. We're definitely doing the Daddy and Daughter Dance. Again, we are at www.daddyuniv. It's daddyuniv Instagram, Daddy Univ Twitter, Facebook. We're not hard to find at all. That's one of our other events. We have other events going on in other states. We are currently working in Arkansas. We're working in Mississippi, Delaware County, and Delaware. Literally doing everything we did in Philly for 20 years. Everybody else wants now. They want the Fathers Club, and we still do Fathers Club every 2 weeks where we have a different topic, kind of like this, but then we start breaking it down, and there's a part of sharing, and the best part of it is you're able to walk in and say, yeah, I want to kill my kids sometimes, and everybody just shakes their head like, yeah, I get it, and let's move on. But you don't
Ty,
actually
you should be
do it.
shaking your head.
My son has a lot of me, you know.
Listen, he know it too.
Best part about my kids is that they remind me of me.
Okay.
The worst part about my kids
Is that they
Is
remind you
that
of
they
you?
remind me.
Yep.
Oh, I hate that.
I see my son all the time. I be like, yeah, I did the same thing. Bro, come home, take off all his clothes, run around in his underwear for the next 6 hours. I said, that was me. That's what I did. I remember distinctly.
I told myself, I went in this book bag one time, just everything everywhere, all unorganized. So I left, went in my office. Where the hell did I?
Get it. You know where it come from.
Give me a minute.
You know where it come from.
It's around here
It's around
somewhere.
here.
You know exactly where it come from. That's half of you over there. You know. Bless you. That's
Over
half of
there.
you.
My son, real quick, he said, Dad, I need a shirt from school. So I'm thinking just a regular, school shirt. All right, here's the money, man. Go ahead. Whatever. So he come back 2 days later, pulls out a dashiki. Dad, look, here it go. I'm like, okay, all right. No, all right, fine. Like, all right. So he puts it on. And so I got like tons of characters, right? So my son kind of like plays along with me. So he has this really good Jamaican voice. So he puts his dashiki on and starts talking this Jamaican voice. I'm like, no, you're messing up the culture.
Right.
You messed it up. I'm Rafiki the dashiki and just going in his Jamaican voice. But I'm like, that's me, man.
Yeah, all day.
All day. Right.
All day. You already know. You already know, man.
It's like the knee calling the elbow ashy.
My daughter goes to a school that they actually wear dashiki. She goes to Imhotep. Shout out to
Imhotep.
Imhotep.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
We went to 11th grade, went to go get her a new dashiki. So she was like, oh, I'm still a medium. What happened is let's just say she grew over the summer. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, she was filling it out.
Okay.
So she was trying to convince me, because I'm a dad, like, oh no, I'm still a medium. But the reality is you grew. You want the attention. I know you want the medium because that means kind of tight. That you're just showing all your essence.
Don't fit.
Yeah, you're fitting. You're right.
Yeah.
Fitting. And all the football players walking around. So I was like, well, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to get the largest just in case, because your mom may not like X, Y, and Z.
Right.
But I also realized, and I said it to her, which dads don't say, that your body has changed.
Mm.
And I realized your body has changed. She was like caught, like, whoa, oh man. Like, it's funny because now you're able to be more real instead of this whole, we came from be quiet. I mean, what I said is what I said. Why you still standing here? So sometimes I have these conversations about why I'm not giving you steak. I'm eating steak and you're not, because you don't appreciate it. But we are able to have this dialogue. But in the end, you're going to do these chores anyway. But get it out. Get it off your chest.
Yeah.
Because I want you in that kind of relationship where you listen to your wife and that you learn to listen to your husband and not just over talk. So yeah, you could try it. I'm just going to sit back there and because eventually you're going to take it back to the store.
You
So
try
I'm
it
just
out.
saying, have fun with it now.
But speaking of that, please, you have to extend our apologies to your wife, because she was supposed to come on the show a long time ago.
Yeah.
And we had technical difficulties on the day she was supposed to come on.
Oh.
And we have had a hard time trying to reschedule it, that kind of thing. So she comes back and be like, well, Jimmy was supposed to have me first. Please tell her we're sorry. We apologize.
Sorry,
Because,
Miss Austin.
Listen.
They know who they wanted first. You know how I run this.
We sorry, Sharice.
Jenna
I
better
apologize.
be ready when I get home.
Oh my gosh. Just saying. And she waiting at the door. Don't
It's-
forget.
Am I short too? Oh gosh, they the worst ones.
Yeah.
Oh, how tall are you?
I'm 5'1". You don't want none of this smoke.
Like,
Don't
you done
slide
moved
over
up.
there now.
You done moved up. Hold on, let me move
Slide
on. But
Kneecaps.
listen. Hit you low. They hit you up top, hit you low. But Brother Joe, I got to tell you, man, this has been amazing. more than just informative. It's been relatable and eye-opening and understanding. And I mean, you got two dads in here that talk about these type of things on the regular. And, luckily I have a good brother I can call and talk to about things I go through. You got a couple of them that I can call and talk to, but not all of us do. Not all of us want to share that information at times. So, I greatly appreciate, I think the team wholly, but me personally, I greatly appreciate you coming on and just sharing what it is that Daddy University does, the resources it provides, the workshops, the tools, the insight, the safe spaces in order to communicate what they're experiencing and find solutions for those things that they might be having challenges with. And, I'm so solution based. I be just, all right, got a problem? What's the solution? A lot of times it's steps to get to that solution. And I really gratefully thank you for coming on tonight and just expressing all that you your knowledge, your wisdom, your truth. Like, you know what I mean? Straight up. Like, straight up. That's really all I can say. I mean, T, I know I'm speaking for me, but I'll let you speak for yourself. But, I'm sure T sat over there from her perspective as a woman and saw it a little bit differently, saw some things for herself. So, I mean, T, go ahead. I'm sorry, sis. I ain't going to speak for you.
No, you're fine. No, I just want to say to all of the dads out there that are listening, there is a place for you to go. We have a gentleman here who was saying, come to us and we will show you some things. Come to us and we will, let you get it off your chest. We are here for you. So, fellas, don't be shy, and you're not alone. And, shout out to all the dads out there that really want to be dads and really want to show up and let people know that, fatherhood is a serious thing. Yeah, you're not alone. We have there are outlets out here for you.
Amen.
So don't be discouraged.
Yeah.
Keep on pushing. Yeah, it's gonna get tough. It's gonna get rough, but be encouraged.
Appreciate that, T. Appreciate Ty. What you got, boy?
I'm thankful for you coming out this evening.
What?
With your knowledge and information.
See, Ty been to his house already and cooked for him. So Ty already done been in the mix.
They promised me.
Small world. I'm on the phone with
Joe said you just promised him food.
I thought there was going to be.
Hey, Joe looking for the plates. T, you put it out there. We had our meeting on Monday. T was like, you gonna bring some plates, right, Ty? You gonna bring some extra food, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ty.
I'm having a conversation with Joe on Monday. And I'm like, yo, man, I need to let you talk to my partner, man. This would be great. I didn't get him on the phone. Later on in the conversation, she's like, yeah, I know your partner too. Tyrone? Yeah, he been in my house twice, cooked already for me. Yeah, he's great. He's fantastic. I already know, right? I'm like, yo, small world, this is crazy. You know Ty? You heard me. I'm like, yo, you know Ty? He's like, yeah, I know Ty. I'm like, oh, come on.
It's funny. It's hard sometimes, and I got to be honest, to receive accolades. I sit here and twiddle my fingers because it just, again, it's not the norm for me.
Yeah.
Especially when you just sitting around friends doing something that you like. There every now and then someone says, I want to give you an award. I'm like, for what? I was just doing it. I was just doing it because this is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Like, I sat around and I don't come from I come from the lower, like I didn't know. So I started learning this stuff. And then now we sit around talking about the same problems. Like my YouTube videos aren't about, hey, you should be better. Mine are like, yo, I was almost, messed up. I almost did this. And this is a job you can't wing no more. You should come in with, you should just come in with some type of knowledge. So ask questions, get rid of the I did of this and yell out to somebody if you're not doing well and complain. Complain about it. Don't hold it on your shoulders. Complain. Say your daughter driving you crazy.
Yeah.
Guess what? It's all right. You'll find acceptance. You'll find like, yeah. So, and then realize you're not done. My youngest is my 17-year-old daughter, but I have no idea what it's like to have an 18-year-old. And when she gets 19-year-old, that's different. So I need to rely on people, and then other people who have a 14-year-old come to me. So that's how this village works. Not that I know specific things about a daughter, but I do know
something.
What happened to me was you need to my daughter cost me like $2,000 because when she was 15, the favorite color was purple. And we talked about the room was colored purple. The dolls were purple. And then 16, she was like, yeah, nah. That's nah.
They change up quick on you. They change
You'd
up
be
real
like,
quick on you.
hey, and they'd be like, is that purple? Nah, we done with
Dad,
that.
you know my favorite color is yellow now, right?
I done switched up on you, Pops.
Her room is spa blue now because that's what you know. But know that she's going to change, you're going to change, and we're supposed to change.
Yeah.
But this job never changed, and you have to look towards the goal. The goal is your legacy. The goal is when you're sitting around at 70 years old, people are just going to stop by your house just to chill with you.
Mhm.
And that's probably the greatest parenting gift you can ever get.
Yeah. That's real.
And then the goal also, I have personal goals. I want to go to my son's house and I want to use 9 ice cubes and leave one, but it's going to happen. I want to go to my son's house and drink most of the juice and leave just a drop. Like I want to open the refrigerator and just look in it. And then I want to open the door because it's hot and then put the heat on because it's cold. And then I just want to leave the TV on. I'm going to leave one piece of lunch meat and wrap it back in rolls of toilet paper just used down to one. And for somebody, I have a dream time. I have a dream. I want to go. I was just saying that I want something to break and say, I don't know how that happened. You need to have dreams.
Well, I think we all can relate to that. I think that's a cosign. The corner of the juice. the corner.
Who does that?
The corner.
What does that?
Oh, Daddy, I want to make sure I can save you some. The corner. The corner.
It's a shot glass of juice.
Not even a shot, half a shot.
It's a swallow.
Hey.
One hot dog.
Oh man.
And no rolls. Why don't you just eat both of them? Like why you just leave that one? Like at least I left
Yo,
something.
man, this has been fun. This has been amazing. We have to have you back. That's a given. I know that's a given. We gotta have you back. We was talking about it.
Yeah.
You know, I know you're about to go out of town and you know head out of town, but we gotta have you back. We have to. I think this conversation about fathers, about parenting, not just fathers, but parenting, is vital. We did a podcast. Remember that podcast we did about parenting? Remember that one?
Co-parenting.
Parenting.
Yeah,
So
yes.
we focus a lot on that. I think really because it's our personal lives as well. You know, it's our everyday lives. It's what we all have to live. T has children, or T has a daughter.
A kid and 2 grandkids.
So she has.
The grands I like them.
Yeah, let's see, you like them, huh? I got 2. I got 2. So we all parents sitting in here. We all have experience with this parenting thing. I say experience. I mean, just we're working every year.
Just 2 and
I have 1, 2 and 2.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that made me feel bad. I
said I ain't having no more. I ain't having.
Yeah,
I ain't having no
One
more.
and done.
I'm good.
I currently have 11. So
Is that the yep?
I think that set the alarm
Oh,
off.
you set the alarm. That one.
You did it. You did it. You said it all. You said it all.
So we wanted to.
We have an emergency broadcast right here.
And I think we're clear. Well, with that being said, family, we want to thank Mr. Austin for coming on. CEO, president of Daddy University, Mr. Joe Lawson, just came here and dropped some bars, dropped some knowledge, told some truth. And family, I guarantee you, like this is the type of stuff that we love talking about. We love sharing with our audience. And I'm humbly grateful. The team's humbly grateful, bro. So thank you.
I'll be back.
You gotta be. You gotta be. With that being said, remember you can call us with your comments, your questions at 215-472-0881. Again, that's 215-472-0881. You can also email us at jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. Again, that's jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. It's JIMMYBONDS podcast@gmail.com. And as always, family, remember to call somebody that you know, somebody you talked to recently, somebody you might have talked to recently. Call them and tell them that you love them, because you never know when you might get another chance. So until the next episode, you can find me on Good Hope Road, screaming, stay up, don't sleep in your dreams. My man Ty, my sister T,
Good night.
my brother Joe Austin in the building. I'm Jimmy Bonds. We out. Peace.